You want to know how to go through the divorce process and what that process is. And as you can see from the infographic, there's about 6 stages. But it would be useful, wouldn't it, to have a little more information in plain English about what each of those stages involves, what exactly it is you need to do to go through that process. Because you might be investigating how divorce works, you may be wondering how much it's going to cost you, whether it's going to be something that's going to take a long time, and you just want that clarity maybe about how it happens, but you don't want it to all kind of fall apart. Because I don't know about you, but I've met intelligent, educated people who've gone for their quickie divorce, thought they could manage it all perfectly themselves, and 2 years later found themselves in court spending a load of money on lawyers' fees and thinking, what did I do wrong? So you don't want to be in that situation. So having a real clarity about how this process works, that's going to be useful, right? So the other thing is, you may be finding that you're already in the divorce process. Perhaps even you're using lawyers, but you're beginning to get more and more confused about how all this works, and things are starting to get a bit out of hand, and you want to rein things back in and take back control of the situation. And so the first thing you need to know is how does this thing work? What are the stages that have to be gone through? And when you do that, you'll find yourself in a place where your divorce can be step by step, efficient, uncomplicated, and peaceful. So imagine how that feels. Right, it's done, we did it so well, thank you very much, we can both move on with our lives. And your children, your family, will be so grateful that you've managed to make this an uncomplicated, not too painful experience. And certainly, they'll be glad saying to you, look, you haven't made any real impact on us with this, thank you very much. So that's where we want to be. So how do you get from that place where you start off with the best intentions, but it's not as quick and easy as you might like? You don't want to be like the chap I heard about recently. He spent nearly £200 on an online divorce, which turned out to be just forms he could have got for free, and that I will be making available to you for free as well in this video series. And he still wasn't divorced, because not everybody out there has your best interests at heart when it comes to offering the services you actually need. So it's good that you want to take control of this process. And the video series I've created, for the 6 of them, short and snappy, and the objective is to give you clarity, take the scariness out of the language, put it in plain English, but most importantly, to give you some of those, what do we call them? Disasters that you want to avoid. Because there's lots of places where you do need to be a little bit clever, a little bit knowledgeable. But that's simple when someone's given you that information. And that's what I'm doing. So if you click now and get yourself registered, you'll be able to have access to those 6 valuable videos. Oh, and who am I? I'm Suzy Miller, if you haven't met me before. I'm a divorce strategist, and the reason I'm doing this is it's kind of ongoing. I've collaborated with the Ministry of Justice in promoting better ways for families to change form, to go through divorce in healthier ways, and I provide lots of free and useful resources and information to families to help them with that process. And I became really concerned about how many people I was meeting or hearing about who in theory should have been able to manage that process themselves really simply, but where they just didn't have the basic information they needed given to them. And so that's what I put together in these 6 videos. Because there's 2 kinds of DIY divorce, all right? Some of you will it will be so easy. You'll both agree. You will follow these steps, all 6 of them. You may not even need any lawyers, though there are a couple of legal parts that I will tell you about, because they could come back to bite you later, but that's okay, that's all in the videos. And it will be very simple for you. Then there's a whole load of other people who do have some assets. They may have properties, pensions, and children, and that's where it can start to get a bit more complicated. But you can still do a DIY divorce. You can still, what I call, self-manage your divorce. So the information here will give you the basic information that you need about the overview and some how to avoid certain pitfalls. But for you, there will be some additional resources that you might require. But again, I'll make sure you have access to those as you go through. So, what are you waiting for? Register now. You can receive the 6 videos, go through them all at once or one by one at each stage, however you want to do it. You're in control. And I would also like to say, it's great that you're here, that you're making this decision to understand the process. A lot of people just hand it over to lawyers and keep their fingers crossed and then wonder why it all went horribly wrong. Good for you that you want to understand how this works, and this is a very good place to start. See you on the other side.
Incredible.